Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Showers and storms are back in parts of the region tonight. High water is, of course, a big concern, especially in areas still recovering from the devastating flooding about a week and a half ago. Let's begin our severe weather alert day coverage with meteorologist Evan Hatter. Evan?
Well, the good news, Steve, is the highest water issues we've seen so far have been areas that have not been hardest hit by the devastating flooding of a couple of weeks ago, but we're not finished with this just yet. In fact, our flood watch runs through the remainder of tonight, through tomorrow, and into tomorrow night before all is said and done with this particular weather system. Outside right now, some areas are still seeing sunshine. Mountain Parkway at Slade, you see sunshine, but you also see some developing clouds there as we start to pick up more showers and storms. I-75 in London, also sunny, but increasing the clouds. Our main area of action so far today has been across Bell County. That is a flash flood warning for northern Bell County. They got a radar estimated 3 inches of rain a little bit earlier, though we have not seen any reports out of Bell County, which is good news. Areas near downtown Pineville and east. The heaviest rainfall rates continue to push off to the east. There's that nearly 3-inch rainfall total from earlier. Other heavy storms along 460 leaving the state of Kentucky, but Southwest Virginia seeing quite a bit of heavy rain from Norton on to the north and east. So we're not done yet. More storms are starting to fire out to the west. We'll talk about all of that and when things finally start to calm down. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. In the past week and a half, several national organizations, government leaders, and even celebrities have come to the region to help with flood relief efforts. Now one local college team is stepping up to prove that Eastern Kentucky means more than just what's on their jerseys. WYMT's Alyssa Williams has the story.
Using their skills for more than basketball.
Everything is bigger than basketball. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know who you'll meet here. So anytime you can help someone in times of need, I mean, it makes them feel good. It makes you feel good.
Hoping to lift the region they represent on the hardwood, the Eastern Kentucky University men's basketball team stopped by the donation and distribution site at the old JCPenney's in Hazard on Tuesday.
We take a lot of pride in representing Eastern Kentucky. It means something. When we put this shirt on and we put our polo on, not just when we play basketball games, but representing Eastern Kentucky is a big deal to us, and it's a big deal to all our players.
This mission hit home for the team since their head manager, Bryce Watts, is a Knott County native and Hazard High School grad whose family and friends were personally affected by the flood.
To see these families lose everything they've worked for. I have friends that's lost everything. I have a friend that his house actually ended up burning down a few years ago, and they just rebuilt everything and they've lost it again. So I can't even imagine what they're going through. So it just takes a group effort to get back to things.
Making a point of making a difference in the region they play for.
It's not what you get, it's what you give. And that's not just in basketball, but in life.
In Hazard, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
The EKU men's basketball team dropped off donations and helped to unload and organize others coming in at the old JCPenney's building. Head manager Bryce Watts says he feels grateful that the team was able to come and give their time to help the place he calls home. ARH has been collecting water, cleaning supplies, and non-perishable food items, but now it's asking for work gear, camping supplies, dehumidifiers, and baby formula. ARH is sending supplies to hospitals in Hyden, Hazard, and Whitesburg. Those places are functioning as distribution sites. Volunteers like Frederick Douglass High School cheerleaders in Lexington spent the day organizing clothes and packing boxes. ARH is collecting donations through their website. All funds will go to flood victims. Folks in Breathitt County are continuously working hard through the mud and debris left over by the floods, and they say it's going to be a long time until the work is done. Julia Sandor was in Lost Creek in Breathitt County today, where people continue to clean up.
The new school year is supposed to start this week, but that's not the case for those at Riverside Christian School.
We are putting a whole lot of hope and prayer and faith that we're going to see workers come in, we're going to see things come in that we've never seen before.
Their Bible teacher, Mac Asher, brought us through the halls.
They got out all of the mud as best possible.
The waters even reached the ceilings in their classrooms.
Some of these fan blades are a little bit older, but as well as they are saturated down with water.
And in their gymnasium, the water was above the basketball hoop.
This was all flood.
But despite the damage, they've already made so much progress.
Not only do we know that the importance of getting out the mud, but we know to make sure that a school happens, there has to be a command central and rooms that are clean, not just free of mud, they have to be clean.
And just across the bridge, another home was almost completely underwater.
To get a good look, Troublesome Creek is just a few yards below me, but the water rose all the way up the hill to that house, going about 16 feet inside.
The house belongs to Johnny Bush Jr.'s sister.
I hope that, FEMA will help everybody out, because all of them needs it. A lot of people don't even have homes to live in. And the ones that does, got a lot of cleaning to do to them.
And he'll continue to clean every day, just like those who are across the creek.
Is it perfect? Not just yet, but as each and every day goes on, we will be able to make sure it gets more and more clean each and every day.
In Breathitt County, in the Lost Creek community, Julia Sandor, WKYT.
And that school, Riverside Christian, was hit hard last year by flooding too, so they're having to clean up again. The community is hopeful that with the president's visit yesterday, they'll receive the help they need. More politicians were in the mountains today. U.S. Senator Mitch McConnell received a first-hand look at some of the damage in Knott County and other areas. Numerous people lost their lives in Knott County during the disastrous flooding nearly 2 weeks ago. Many that survived returned home to find nothing left, now turning to their community and others to help them rebuild their lives. Senator McConnell visited the Knott County Sportsplex today, which has become a big hub of resources, including FEMA assistance, food and clothing, and cleaning supplies. Kentucky's junior Senator Rand Paul was also in eastern Kentucky today. He stopped at numerous places and spent time this morning in Perry County, where he toured a church that is still serving as a donation site and shelter. He spoke with volunteers and visited with flood survivors. We will have more about both senators' visits to the region, the first visits for both, coming up tonight at 6. Well, President Biden is back in Washington after visiting eastern Kentucky yesterday. The president talked to flood survivors and connected the disaster to the larger impact of global warming. A multi-part bill, including the biggest federal investment ever to fight climate change, could be signed by the president this week. CBS's Ed O'Keefe is at the White House.
We're staying until everybody's back to where they were.
On a tour of flood-damaged Kentucky Monday, President Biden acknowledged the devastating impacts of the latest severe weather patterns.
As you all know, we've suffered a consequence of climate change, a significant number of weather catastrophes around the nation.
The president used his tour of the damaged town of Lost Creek to point out that legislation like the bipartisan infrastructure plan passed last year will help Kentucky rebuild. But congressional Democrats also hope legislation set to be passed this week helps reduce the risk of future weather disasters. The Inflation Reduction Act includes nearly $400 billion to fight the changing climate and extreme weather, the largest ever amount of federal spending to do so. There's $9 billion for home energy rebate programs, a $4,000 tax credit for lower middle-income Americans to buy used electric cars, or $7,500 credits to buy new ones.
Your electric bill will go down.
$30 billion in production tax credits to build solar panels, wind turbines, batteries, and billions more to build energy-efficient manufacturing facilities.
It's a really exciting package of incentives to drive the cost of energy down.
Janine Cotter is the founder of Luminalt, a solar installation company in San Francisco.
Heating and cooling your home is much more expensive when you have to deal with climate change and the spikes of the very heavy winters and the very hot summers.
In another bipartisan win for the White House, the president's also signing the CHIPS and Science Act, a major multi-billion-dollar piece of legislation designed to boost the semiconductor industry. The bill's to computer chips that run things like our phones, airplanes, cars, and appliances that have been held up due to supply chain concerns. Ed O'Keefe, CBS News, the White House.
President Biden said the federal, state, and local governments will stay until eastern Kentuckians rebuild. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, if you have a credit card in your wallet right now, do you know its interest rate? Coming up, why experts say that important number can help you manage debt.
Plus, we continue to watch the potential for very heavy rain moving into the mountains tonight. Very latest on the way.